Okay, I think you can begin because
Yeah.
now there are you are 10 altogether, in fact, some way. Yeah, okay.
So
And people can come in. There's no problem if they need, I think. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So I think that probably more people will join us in a while, because I heard from some Yorak people who would like to join us, like Armenian, Christine from Armenia. Christine, are you with us already?
No, she's
Not yet.
not.
No, but she was telling me that she wanted to join us also. So we will see how many people we get. So today we are supposed to talk about aspects of healthy aging, and so it is a great honor for me to be selected as a moderator, and I would like to give the floor to Mr. And I can't see the whole name now, only Rimantas.
Yeah. Rimantas is sufficient. It's enough.
So I will give the floor to Rimantas, because we already agreed upon that he would start the conversation to trigger actually the conversation, and to bring up to our focus different aspects of this topic. So Rimantas, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Dan. I would like to share my file with the audience. So is it seen in your screen or share?
Not yet. Not yet.
Yes, I'm here.
Is it okay now?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, now we
And
can see it.
Yes, we
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
So I'll switch to the, so to do this, maybe, yeah, it's better, I think, right now.
Yeah.
So my presentation is about an important aspect for everybody, and especially for those who are aged over 60 and 70 and 80. So this is about healthy aging, a quite broad topic, but nevertheless very important. So I tried to develop sort of a small theory on that topic, and you will see whether I succeeded. Let's so aging. When we speak about life values, there is plenty of them. They are very great variety, but generally they could be grouped into three groups or pillars, and the whole set of life values rests on these three pillars. This is in my vision. The first pillar is health. Everybody knows what is healthy living, what is health. Then the second pillar is material values, which is wealth. Maybe you are a millionaire or wish to become a millionaire. This is wealth. And the third pillar is social values. This is about your soul, about your environment, your social social circle, your relationships, and so I think that these three pillars exhaust all life values. If somebody finds more, please let me know. It would be interesting to hear. Now the question arises, which pillar is more or less important? It depends on a person. If we take all life values, say green color is represents health, well, it's calm, healthy being. Yellow represents wealth. This is gold, let's say, money, and social is in blue. Then if we allow maximum value for each pillar 10 points, and suppose you are given 15 points, okay? 15 points. Your maximum score is 30, but you are given only 15. How would you prioritize? How would you distribute them over these priorities? And if you take a young person, I clearly remember when I was 20, and probably everybody does so, then young people do not pay a lot of attention to health. So I gave only 1 point to this pillar, but young people are very much concerned about wealth. This is my vision. Maybe I'm wrong, but it would be interesting to hear your opinions. So they need to accumulate wealth. They need money. They are looking for good jobs. They want to build a house, create family, and so on. So this is a very important for them, and I gave 9 points to this. And the last pillar is social. It's important for young people to have friends, to have pardon? Yeah, to enter relationships with the opposite sex and so on. So probably this they value this aspect in 5 points. Then let's move to older age. This is old man's priorities. I don't know whether they are typical, and everybody could comment on this. In my understanding, when you are over 60, health takes more and more, and out of these 15 points, you are allowed to allocate across the priorities. Health takes 8 points, something like that. Wealth is not so important. It seems to me that it's worth maybe 3 points, and social is slightly increasing because older people often say we feel lonely, we need some social environment, we need not discussions, but maybe just simple talks with somebody, and so on. So this is my vision on of how old people allocate these their priorities when they are over 60 and older. This is a symbolic picture. You see a miraculous mirror where an old man looks to the mirror and sees something miraculous. So I also would like to buy such a mirror, and looking for a shop where to buy it. If somebody knows such a shop, let me know. But this is quite symbolic. Young people probably do not think about such reflections. My personal profile is like this. I'm actually a loner, maybe introverted loner, but it reflects my general profile I gave to old people's profile. Now, well, after this theoretical introduction, the question arises how to stay, if you are, how to stay healthy, how to stay wealthy and generally satisfied with your personal life when you are over 60. So this is my my recommendations, which is based on my vision. But of course, this is individual attitude. If you have different points to mention and you think they are worth mentioning, please please go ahead. So I think that it's probably the most important thing is that you shouldn't give up your work and hobbies. Life after 60 is not the end of your lifespan. It's just another time interval. Just so if you give up your work and your hobbies, you put yourself in a trouble, because then problems arise with your relations, with your feeling that you are out of society, you are no longer needed to anybody and alike. So in my understanding, it's very important to stay active, but provided you maintain at least average health condition. This is very important. And this is why I put high scores to health pillar. Previously, you saw on these diagrams. But if you work, don't overwork. Avoid work-related and long-lasting stresses. Short stress is probably useful for you. It provides some sort of training effect. But if you have a full the boss who is let's say causes your stress every second day, then drop this job. You try to find a better boss. Then a very important, which I stick to, is to stay active physically. Physical, I wouldn't call this sport. This is not sport, not at all. Big sport is harmful for your health, actually. But small exercises, modest physical activity is very useful for you, for your health. And this has been proved many times. This is my personal experience. Then it's better time to expand your social societal activities. Look around in your neighborhood, community, voluntary organizations, and so on. And sometimes I am surprised that I see that a lot of aged people get involved in singing, dancing, and like this age is the best time for singing and dancing. But if it's attractive for them and it takes their time in some meaningful style, that's fine. Go ahead with such activities. Then probably it's recommendable to use simple, healthy foods. If you like something very sophisticated, it's probably not advisable. Just what your body needs. And finally, if it's your life after 60, Plus, probably is a good time for more for activities more related to your soul, say philosophy or religion. I don't know whether this is could be popular, but it's a good time. But then let's move to the government strategy for those over 60. Our governments of course, in every country, they design strategies how to deal with those people. So I have to say, our governments tend to see us people over 60 something like in this way, which I am not very happy with that. They sort of, you see, helpless, lonely, without needed help from a side and so on. So this view probably partly it is correct, but only in part. It's not full picture. Some people really, they arrive at their 60s being sick, like diabetes or hypertension and so on. So I think this is a simplified and often wrong picture if it's applied to a considerable part of population. Not all aged people are such, but of course the governments are correct in this point, in the point that you should take care about sick and helpless people first. This is right policy, but very uniform and not applicable to everybody. Then I think this is for discussion. If we were involved in some discussion, put yourself on the position of your prime minister, and how would you act towards these elderly people? So I think it would be some points which are worth considering. For example, I established the flexible retirement age. Now in my country, Lithuania, people get retired, I think, at 63 or something like this. This is a fixed year, after which you are retired, and then you leave society and leave your job, and you have no right to work in governmental institutions, so be happy. You are given a 400 euro or 450 pension, so this is your world now and ahead. But people are very different. They arrive at their 60s, 70s in quite different health inclinations, habits. And some people want to work longer and not in just simple jobs, but why, if they do not have any dementia or let's say in full mind, they have experience, they have ideas, and still why to write them off? So it would be good for such people to select the retirement age themselves. Some people want to go retired from 60, but in that case, your pension would be smaller, of course, if you compared with your bigger retirement age. Then everybody now speaks that European society growing old, and this is like a disaster. Economists are very upset and showing troubles. But this is a good sign. The question is if we live longer. The question is how to live in good health longer, in full mind. So this is achievement of our, instead the economists are worrying. Well, this is because they are economists. They are not social at all, not at all. So there could be measures for, I think it's necessary to adjust labor market for aging population, part-time occupation, flexible working hours, possibility to work at home, which would fully employ right now, and similar things. Then health protection systems, more geriatric doctors probably, and what is very important, to use preventive measures as much as possible. Don't get sick. Unfortunately, our health care systems are designed that, for instance, I am talking about our Lithuanian healthcare system. If we let's imagine that all citizens suddenly become healthy, yeah, they don't need doctors, then our health system goes bust. Doctors are not paid because their payment depends proportionally to surgery operations or any procedures they apply to their patients. If no patients, no income, no healthcare system. So this is the principle. This principle shows that our healthcare system is founded on, let's say, very much doubted base. But of course, this is a principle view. I think we should, but and how should it be? If society is healthy, the doctors are less involved in healthcare, but they still have to receive the same salary, the same high salary. This is their, for instance, a contribution. This is that they achieved healthy society. Then provide assistance to aged people, organizations like us, and this, well, aged people clubs, voluntary bodies would be nice, but instead we receiving some strange projects like establishment of Alzheimer cafe. They, of course, some people and on such projects, of course, maybe to some small part, it's possible, but Alzheimer cafe, it sounds quite strange. Maybe Vilja will elaborate on this. For me, it's I would prevent such cafe from great distance. Then, so this is just repetition, that reiteration that old people arrive at their old ages being in quite different conditions, and governments should see that because they should take different approaches. This is not their fault or let's say, or gain of these old people, but they are different. They are different. Some people are quite, may be quite useful to contribute to your country's development, not just sing and dance, but they have experience, they have expertise, and they still are alive. But well, this slide, yeah, I put there a remark in red that this does not reflect gender inequality. So you may you may understand that this woman has a very lean tension or against this rich man. Yeah, and so the last my slide is about some questions. I think that my main idea is that we should be more active in that sense. We should try to deal more actively with our governments, and especially in the EU context. If you ask who designs government policies on aged people now, so my answer is young people. Yeah, only young people are in our government. All the ministers, the prime minister is, I think, nearly 50, or but the ministers is younger. And when I was young, I thought I would never be old. So these old people are something, well, what to think about them? This is not my business. Let's give them pensions and that's it. It's, we need aged people to more actively participate in government policies. And I don't see, unfortunately, I don't see such phenomenon right now. Maybe I'm wrong, short-sighted. Then, who knows life and needs of aged people best? That's the aged people who know their needs, their capabilities, their worries, and so on best. These only aged people. So I think that there should be aged people in some, not necessarily position, but in the advisory or somewhere, but they should participate because they would contribute, they could contribute to the government policy. Young people, they do not understand us, actually. We have to keep this in mind. And the last, sometimes I think that I see organizations that just earn money on trying to represent the interests of the aged people. I looked, I think, at one, I forgot its name, organization in Brussels, which participate in a number of projects funded by the Commission. Unfortunately, I looked over there a list of projects, and I didn't find that aged people organizations participate in such projects as partners. So quite strange. Young people represent our interests. They do some work, but without participation of the aged people organizations, just under such umbrella. So I'm not happy with this. So finally, I would, what's the main, my idea? I think we should be more active in this, in the sense that we should try to find maybe suitable project or suitable activity at the EU level, compare, make polls across EU countries, derive conclusions, and maybe to design some ideas to be submitted to European Commission. So why not? And with such grand ideas, let me finish. Thank you.
So thank you, Rimantas, for your very comprehensive presentation. So before I give the floor to Belia, who will continue with a description of the situation in Lithuania, I would like just to comment on your presentation that I can see the problem in how the organizations that are working or representing the elderly, how they are presenting them. Because many times in order to pump more funds, more financial subsidy from the government, they are presenting the older people like absolutely, capable, that they are fragile, that they need the care of the society. So, and it is one reason why we are facing ageism, because the youngsters do consider, after such, such presentations, they consider the older persons as burden for the society. And I think that also the goal of this this conference that we are having right now is to present people, older people, as persons with a great potential, that they are not losing that potential when they enter their retirement. They are still possessing their potential, but there is the necessity to give them the space to share that potential with the society. So the problem is that we should not present the elderly as a category which needs to be cared of, but the other way around. The category which still can care of, still give something to the society and care of the peers, the people of the same age group. So I think that it is what we have to work on, and I would like to give a floor to Vilja to go on with the situation in Lithuania.
Yes, thank you, Dana. And we have listened to Rimantas' speech. Here, I would like just one comment with regard that young people design and decide what we need, and according to their considerations, all the government policy is made, and created. However, we have at our parliament also elderly, parliament members. And as a rule, when it comes to the voting, they vote against, pensioners' interests. It was very, amazing to find out, Maybe they are afraid to look as aged and elderly persons themselves, but or they simply lack empathy, I think. So that's why it is not always, good to have such old members in parliament. That's my opinion, you know, because they don't give any benefit, you know, they don't bring any benefit to people of our age, of pensionist age, you know. So I would like to refer to the project that we have been doing last year, and we continue it this year under a bit different name, and this is challenges of healthy aging in pandemic. So that's what we are discussing now, actually. And I am grateful that you included it on the list, you know, of these events, you know, that we can discuss and find out also your opinion, you know, opinion of other EURAG members, not only here in Lithuania. But what has been done on international basis, and this included also Lithuania as a participant, it was an international project carried out, implemented last year, and it was called Advantage, pranašumas, privalumas. And it focused mainly on such problems that we face now in this period of lockdown, you know, when we have to sit home, we can't move much, and we can see each other, you know, directly, you know, to have direct contacts, to have no direct meetings, only by Zoom in virtual reality that is allowed, you know, and this causes problems with bodies, you know, human bodies, that it is frailty, it's called in English, and in Lithuanian it is called senatvinio silpnumo syndromas, SSS. And this is a new phenomenon, actually, no, we can say comparatively new in Europe, because people know under these conditions, you know, when they cannot move, they face such generous symptoms of phenomenon that can be defined as illness, or just we face risk, you know, to get this illness, you know, frailty. And frailty is a reduction of physical life systems, you know, body systems. And due to this, inner reserve of capabilities fades away and reduces. So it can cause more traumas, you know, if we are out in the street, we can fall down, we can have severe breaks of bones, what sometimes leads even to disability of people, you know, and this needs long-term care, already in hospital sometimes even. So the frailty can be recognized by such visible symptoms, you know, ordinary and very simple symptoms as muscle reduction, when we lose our muscle system, you know, due to lack of exercises, physical exercises, if we don't do it at home, you know, and we lose our weight in some conditions very considerably, up to 4.5 kilos per year, you know, and this is not good. And we can notice that our neighbors, for example, slow down in their pace when they are walking. This is also one of criteria, you know. If we feel tiredness or exhaustion, weakness, and low level of physical activities, all this, you know, can cause this frailty, or SSS. And it is considered that if a person has at least 3 of these criteria, it is possible that the person has SSS, or frailty. So it is supposed presently that 1 out of 10 elderly persons in European Union suffer from this ailment, especially if they have still some parallel diseases. Therefore, SSS, or frailty, has turned a challenge to the healthcare system in many countries, in all these countries. As I told, Lithuania was one of 22 And it has been proved that physical activities is the most efficient means to fight frailty in order to improve life quality and functionality. That means that if we fight this frailty, then we'll be able to participate in educational, lectures. We will be able to go for sports, for healthcare camps with physical exercises, for lectures and sightseeing cultural trips when it will be allowed, concerts with direct participation, socializing and participating in events, everything. And as you are doing, Dana, as memory training is also can be included into this, system fighting this frailty, that it is a threat to all of us, menace to all of us, So what is interesting, that recently our governmental structures, several ministries, that was social ministry. Here I would like to know your opinion, if you have something similar in your countries, let's say in Czechia, that they have sent us such a, how to say, draft for the program that is called social recipe. Social recipe that is aimed to help, or it is, we can say, dedicated to elderly people, but with such exclusion, or let's say that priority is given to persons who have some psychic problems, Also can say that due to pandemic, when they feel more lonely and abandoned as always, or at least they approach their doctor, have to approach their doctors several times per month, and so on. So they are given priority with access to various cultural programs and such, let's say, training programs, even including swimming pool that everybody would like to, because it's quite expensive, to have this ticket and availability, and to cultural, to educational, to various, to knitting, to other various occupations, whatever can be only, invented. And what we do, we focus in our projects, but they are given free of charge. You have to fill in questionnaire, and if you agree that you meet such, their requirements, that you really need some psychological aid, so then you will be allowed to take advantage and to use these services, that means that these people who have various problems and psychic problems, they are, will be considered privileged, in a sense, that they're allowed. But all other normal people, they are left aside, put aside, as if they are of no interest to governmental structures, they can do on their own, and so on. They are left as potential, as I would say, potential clients and patients who will go afterwards and will fall into this category of psychic, persons who will need their services. I don't know. So I would like to ask you, do you have something similar?
So really, I can tell you that we don't.
You don't.
We don't.
So
And to tell you frankly, I prefer not to belong to that category of people with mental problems. It's much better to be, so-called healthy and to be able to live our own life according to our own choice. I just wanted to tell you a good example. What I think that referring back to Rimanta's speech, I was thinking about the mid-80s, many years ago, as you can count. And I started the U3A program in Prague. It was mid-80s. And we didn't know what to expect from people who never actually got a possibility to take part in a specialized education for seniors. And it happened at the academic ground, at the Faculty of Medicine of Charles University. And they were so smart at that faculty that they gave them a special survey. They started a special survey with them, but it was also connected with medical tests. And the doctors got a good idea what the health level with these people was about. And when they finished the first years of studies, they asked them again, how do you feel now after 1 year of being involved in education? And 99.9% of them answered, we feel much, much better than 1 year ago. We feel much healthier, much more fit, much more satisfied. And the irony of that was that the medical tests prove after that 1 year that they didn't improve medically in the health respect an inch, no change. But they didn't realize it. They felt so good. They didn't have time to observe where anything was aching, and they felt satisfied, healthy, happy. So I think that it is a good lecture, for any older people, that it is so important to give them something that they would get involved in, that they would feel, satisfied, they would feel useful, that they are doing something. And because we have a limited possibility to eliminate their health problems, only up to the point, but we can somehow affect very strongly that feeling of satisfaction and the feeling of happiness. And I think that it is something that we have in our hands. What you are doing for your people, the programs that you are offering, the possibility that they have the chance to socialize, to come together, not to be lonely. So it is much more valuable than what your government is doing for those with the mental health problems, that they can go for swimming or whatever. What you are doing, it is much more valuable, and you are focusing on much larger scale of your elderly population. So I think that we should first look, we have you maybe know that proverb, the best help which you can find is on the end of your own arm, that go to your, see your own potential, what you can do for people, and try to trigger the potential of everyone who is in your care, or in your association, in your category, in your just, group, age group. And I think that what you are doing in Lithuania, it is absolutely amazing. When I learned how low pensions are there, and what you can do for people. And what I admire most was the pride that you are having. You are proud of your personalities, of your intellectual level, oh, excuse me. Oh, I can't stop it. Oh, I'm sorry. I will put it aside.
Okay, I can.
Because I couldn't stop the telephone. Yeah. So excuse me. So I think that you have done a lot, but there is still apparently a lot to be done. So my opinion is that you are actually under conditions that you are having available, that you are doing absolutely amazing job, and I admire you. So I don't know if we have people from other European countries just to tell you what they think about what you mentioned. I think that Christine, are you with us from Armenia?
Yes, yes.
So, Christine, what do you think about the attitude towards the elderly of your government?
In my country, elderly people are protected by their families, much more not by the government. Families take care of their elderlies, and much more reorganizations should be done on governmental level. Still, we are elaborating those changes currently.
Oh, thank you. And Rina, how is it in Estonia?
I just wanted to add that our NGO, Estonian NGO, is participating with the Baltic project. Age is not obstacle, and there are participants. The main partner is the Latvian Adult Education Association, and from Lithuania there are also three organization NGOs, and one is Rimantas organization also. You know about this, the project age is not obstacle?
No,
You
no,
know.
unfortunately, no.
And Velia knows about it. Yeah.
And this is started last year and will be end next year. And yeah, there are different topics, but I think maybe it's take too much time to all these 10 topics that yeah, there are. But the global objective is for this project is to enhance the life quality of a retired person in the Baltic countries. And yeah, there are also the digital technology, how to prepare elderly people more to use this kind of things, and social activism, and also memory training is one topic, how to yeah, be in better health condition, and also physical activities, isometric exercises, and also one topic, ready to live, practical social and spiritual aspects, communication with different generation, how to minimize misunderstanding. Yes, and also legal basic knowledges about the healthcare system for everybody, and also one topic about the formation of the family tree. This is just the short content of the project, the Baltic countries, and this is the EU project to get money.
Thank you. So Velia, you can hear that there are, of course, there are the chances to get into the project if you succeed, so that you will get some financial subsidy from the Commission. But my own experience is that there are different agencies, definitely not all elderly working there. They are young people. It is their job, and they are, I get so many of them, who are getting in touch with me and asking if I would be willing, or URAC would be willing to participate and to find a good topic that they would succeed, that we would help them to get actually a subsidy for their existence. So I am, you know, I don't have too good feelings about that. And what Rimantas thought, I thought that it was probably H platform that he was talking about from Brussels. When you look at their employees, you see that they are 40 of them and all of them are young, you know, and so they are, they are representing the actually the age organizations in Europe. So it is a little bit of irony, and it is what I agree with you that, you know, that actually there should be much more representation of elderly people in governments and in local governments and on European level, because it would be the voice of ours, you know, just to tell them what we need. Exactly. So I agree with you. Do we have any more European countries with us? Because I can't see it actually, how many we have, how many participants we have. Do we have anyone who would like to contribute from any European country? So, all right. So it was a little bit also probably too late when people had to decide if they can participate, and not everyone has the time. So anyway, so I would like to give the floor to people from Lithuania to express their opinion about this topic. What and about, you know, the pillars that Rimantas drew for us. What you think, what are the priorities and what are the values of the elderly, what they expect from their life, and what they want to actually, you know, to make, to, you know, just to, for their well-being, what is important for them. So whoever wants to contribute, or Vilja, do you want to tell us more? Because we somehow, you know, I interrupted you too quickly.
That's all right. You know, I think that maybe Evaldas, he has usually some considerations of his own. Yeah, so he can take over.
Evaldas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unmute yourself, please. Evaldas, you have to unmute. No?
Evaldai, įjunkit savo mikrofoną.
Sorry.
Oh, good.
Sorry. Now.
Yeah. Now we can
Thank
hear
you.
you.
Thank you. I would like to share one idea. Rimantas mentioned about European Union dimension, and actually now there is announced a Recovery and Resilience Foundation, and every national government prepared such a plan for this foundation. It would be very interesting to compare what kind of priorities other countries choose, or governments of other countries choose, because I read Lithuanian project plan, and there was mentioned many times, 42 or something more, social insurance, but I find only 2 indicators, detailed, concrete indicators about this social insurance activities. So I would like to, sorry if you do not understand, I repeating. I would like to propose to evaluate and prepare all this, to prepare evaluation of every country's recovery and resilience plan in social insurance pjūvis, kaip bus pjūvis. And social insurance
Section.
Aspect, okay, aspect.
Aspect. So such my proposal. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to contribute to Eval's proposal?
Yeah,
Any comments?
I can
Yeah.
try a few words.
Yeah, please.
Evaldas spoke about, I think, recovery and resilience facility, which comes out of the Commission as an anti-COVID measure, perhaps, to revive our economies. And indeed, there are sections about social protection. Actually, I tried to look at them, but not much. Because I work in the energy field mostly. But Evalda's proposal, I think it's worth attention if we could compare what, say, Czech Republic prepared in social protection area, because the Czech government produced such a plan as well. It would be just interesting. I'm not sure that we could manage this, but it's worth attention.
As far as the pension plan and the valorization of pensions in our country, so we are doing quite well, but it is, I can see it as a pre-election campaign of this present government that is using, getting the votes of older persons. If they do something for them, it is like a bargaining, that we will give you that and you will give us that, you will vote for us. So this present government has been very much in favor of elderly people, and you know that I am, or if you don't know, I will tell you that I'm also a head of the Prague Senior Council, and we have 14 regions, and every region has a senior council, and then we have that Czech Senior Council as an umbrella organization. And we have such a good relationship with our Prime Minister that he's coming to all of our conferences. He even came to celebrate the 70th birthday of our chairman, so it means something. It is a very, friendly, it is the good word, a friendly relationship, but it is, it means that what I don't like, that it very much depends upon the person who is right there, that political attitude, how much they do for you. This one likes you, or he likes someone, so he will do more, and the other one doesn't, is not so much in favor for the elderly. So it is like a sinusoid, when they do for the elderly or they don't. And in the past, the Czech Senior Council had to take the government to the court. Just listen carefully, to the court when they didn't want to valorize the pensions in that level that was in a part of the law. And they didn't want it because they said we don't have enough money. So they threatened the government to take them to the court, and the government backed up, and they valorize the pensions. So it means that there should be an organization, and I think that you are the type of organization that should represent the elderly and not to get threatened by the steps of government. Just to go against them if if you feel that it is necessary, just to show them the power of the elderly. Because if you don't show it, they will just sweep with you like with a broom. So it means that there must be someone who is fighting for the rights of the elderly, and there must be an organization. And I think that you are the organization. You are representing the Lithuanian elderly. So just don't be scared. Don't be scared and go ahead. Whenever you feel that it is for the benefit of the elderly, and they will be surprised. They will be surprised that you are not scared. And you will see that, you will get what you want. At least you will have a good feeling that you have done everything for that. Yeah, and we have, as far as who is, representing the elderly, there is so-called senior council, which collects people from different organizations. And that is also the chairman of Czech Senior Council and other people from government and from other organizations. But I would say that it is a pretty toothless organization, doesn't have any teeth. Yeah. So they don't do too much. So I think that such organizations, when people just come, once in 3 months, that they are not too powerful. So it is much better if you are like an organization that knows what you want, and you just don't hesitate to show it to your government. I think that it is the way how we have to act.
I can add to your, very interesting comments, how these elderly organizations, NGOs, have to act in order to get result, in order to be visible, and that the government would eventually pay proper attention to our interests. So we did, as our Vilnius Boche community, and we invited others to join us. We organized 4 protest rallies, such manifestations, and we organized them at the parliament, at the presidential office, and with requirements to raise pensions, So with regard to gross domestic product, that exists in the European Union, we compare to what is allocated for our pensions in Lithuania, So in European Union is approximately 12%, goes from the budget, from each country's budget, on average, whereas in Lithuania is only 7%. So we still have, potential, but it was very difficult to reach some result. However, we succeeded. During the last 4 years, our pension has been increased by 120 euros.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
It's almost doubled if to take the minimum pension, basic pension, that calculations used to be started, always. So we have result, but now the government and the authorities and power has changed, completely. And we have, as you said, that these personalities who are in power, they ignore usually, elderly people. They think that we have too much already, and we should be quiet and not visible. And the main, concern and worry presently is that our pensions that we have achieved and that have been put to indexes, 9% growth, from the last year, that they wouldn't cancel this, So yeah, we don't think about
I hope not.
But we have to be concerned that it wouldn't go vice versa, to the opposite direction.
I just want to prove, how this government, is in favor of the elderly. We even got 5,000 crowns, which is 240 euros as a special bonus, you know, like what lump sum,
I lump sum.
240 euros during pandemic, just to make it somehow more bearable, the pandemic for the elderly. You know, just can you imagine, you know, so it was a big, you know, step. So
I can tell you that we can imagine, because we have received very similar amount, you know, 200 euros.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
then present authorities, you know, and parliament members, they were criticized, you know, by the nowadays conservative party, why they wanted to flatter, you know, elderly people and gave them this, you know, like a sweet or chocolate or
The
both
same.
or whatever else, you know. So
Well,
we
yeah,
can't expect anything else, you know, in the
just
future.
the same here. Yeah. A lot of criticism, but you know the result was that the elderly got it, and yeah. So you
Yes, it
see
was before the election.
yeah, it very much, yeah, exactly. It was already the campaign, you know, before elections. So it is what we can expect, you know, that the politicians always, when they are doing something for us, what is in the back of their mind is that they are doing it mainly for themselves, you know, to build their position. So so we know that going back to these three pillars of Rimantas, how you showed, you know, your priorities. So I could see that the health was the main priority for you, and the social part aspect was somehow half of that, and wealth was not so important. In my opinion, I would think that all three pillars should be somehow in balance. We should not worry about, you know, about the future, if we can buy what we need. We should be financially secure. We should be reasonable healthy, you know, so nobody is absolutely healthy in our age, but that you can still, you know, normal live and do get involved in your favorite activities. But for me, the social aspect is absolutely the most important. And I have been involved in senior education almost for 40 years. And I am absolutely convinced that the social aspect is more important than what people learn during that education. Now that it is less important how they, you know, expand the scope of their knowledge. For them I think that it is more important that they have to get out from the isolation of their own apartment, that they have to get dressed. They meet the people. They just, they are able to communicate, to find new friends, to have other activities with them. So I am convinced that it is the most important aspect for elderly, to just not to be isolated, then you can add all these, you know, cherries on the top of the cake, you know, like education and physical activities and theaters and trips and everything. But everything must be somehow connected with people. Because we are, you know, the social individuals that need, you know, someone to have around. So what your organization is doing, it is exactly, you know, preparing the ground for socializing. And I think that it is the most, you know, appreciated aspect from the members, that they can take part in these activities. And if we can master it, so I hope to be able to come in the future to Lithuania and to train memory trainers for you, because it would make a change. Because everyone Riemann said that he doesn't like Alzheimer's cafe, but I can understand that for people who are already suffering from dementia, that it is important to give them the feeling that they are still living somehow, you know, the normal life. But what we want to provide the platform for prevention, you know, just to keep our mind alert. So if we train memory trainers for your organization, they can, you know, they can give classes to not only to the elderly, it can be modified for any target group. And so then it would be a big tool in your hands, what you will be able to do for your people together with physical activities, because believe or not, the physical activities is the best preventive measure against Alzheimer's disease ever. Yeah, it is even more important than memory training. So these are the things that we have to keep in our mind, that we have to give the chance to the people to somehow to improve the quality of their life, and the people who are charged of the organization, like you who are here with me, you are somehow responsible for creating such platform that people would be able to find their, you know, the meaningful life and the well-being with the help of your organization. And I think that you are doing so well. At least it is my impression when I was 3 years ago almost in Lithuania. So I was very impressed with your organization and how you are fighting for the rights of the elderly in Lithuania. So it is, if you want to, you know, a comment of someone who is aside, you know, like an observer who is not inside. So I think that under the conditions available in your country, that you are an extremely useful organization for the Lithuanian elderly, that you are doing really a great job. And I was very impressed, you know, with what we have seen in Lithuania. And as I said, you know, you are a proud nation that knows its value. And it is so important. It is so important because, you know, you must, if you have that feeling, nobody can beat you. You know, you just don't let them. Neither your government nor anyone else. So, and I think that you have that, you know, that strength and that self-confidence in your own deeds. So we still have 8 minutes. So Rimantas, will you have the last word? Or will you?
Dana, thank you for your praise of our organization. Of course, I think we are brave people, especially Vilya, who is a good soldier against the government, but we would prefer to act on not so military terms. I think we are able to find common language with our government, but you know, our government, probably as other governments in other countries, is afraid only if voices come from Brussels. If they come from their neighborhood, they are sort of irrespective. But what Brussels says, they pay attention. The Commission produces country reports, and they read them because media takes it and so on, so are not so happy if the commission says that, look, you are doing not so well here, so pay attention. And especially about pensions, Vilija correctly noticed that we spend only 7% of our GDP for pensions, while EU average is 12%, something like that. So it's bad. It's bad, and but it would be best if they read this in commission papers. So this is one more reason for united actions. I think we should think about some united actions across our countries. And thank you, Dana, for your moderation. So I think we will have good memories and ideas from this meeting.
Yeah. So Rimantas, if I can advise you, so if they listen only to Brussels, so I think that one way would be to send a petition of your organization on behalf of the elderly of Lithuania to Brussels, like complain about
Government.
about the how the government acts and how it treats its elderly. So I can, if they listen only to that, so it could be done in a decent way, you know, not too fresh, you know, but still it would be something that maybe your voice in the government would start to think about. You know, and you say, if you don't react, you know, we will send another petition that nothing happened. So it doesn't have to be, Rimantas, in military terms. It can be in very gentle terms, but just let them know what you expect from them. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll leave our guns home.
So goodbye. Thank you to everyone for being with us.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you for
Thank
this
Dana,
interesting,
for your
interesting
for your
discussion.
help, you know,
Yeah,
and your
yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Goodbye.
advices.
Bye.
Goodbye, Irina.
Thank
Bye.
you for the
Bye.
useful and interesting information. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.